Welcome to Meet the Candidate. Today we're joined by Brian McClure. Brian, how are you?
Great.
It's great to have you here. Thanks for taking the time to come in. We understand that you've filed your paperwork, you have all of your signatures in, and you are an official candidate for
Town Council.
Town Council for
That's
the
exciting.
town of Queen Creek.
Yes.
Brian, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Yeah. First, thank you for having me as a small business owner and chamber member. It's an honor to be with you. I actually grew up in Queen Creek, and so I love my hometown. I'm blessed to be able to, raise. Well, Michelle's doing most of it, but raise our 5 kids here, and just be involved in the community. I love it here. I've been a licensed financial professional since 2003. I actually graduated from ASU, so I love the Sun Devils. But yeah, I'm just grateful to be a part of this community. It's a wonderful place to work and to raise a family and be a part of something special. These are exciting times. So
It certainly is changing. You said you were born and raised in Queen Creek, so part of your family's been here for a while then, so you've seen quite a few changes. Why are you running for town council?
Well, as I'm sure many of you've seen in the different articles, and there's a lot of accolades of what a great place this is to raise a family and live, and I agree 100%. I think it is a great place, and I just want to make sure to continue to have it move in a positive direction. When Mayor Barney said he was retire and Councilman Wheatley decided to step up to fill that role, who I support wholeheartedly, I figured it was time for me to step up as well and contribute and do my best to make good decisions for all those involved with the town.
So having lived here your whole life, you probably know quite a bit about the town, but tell me about what you've done in the town. So have you served? What have you done?
Well, I was raised in a culture of you always serve. Any chance you get, you want to serve. And so my wife and I have always worked hard to do that, whether it's through scouting, through church, through the chamber. There's been opportunities as an ambassador, board member, been able to just get involved in a lot of different things as I love finding opportunities and stepping up when there's a need. We love programs like Just Serve. I really just love being a contributor to society, especially in our town with what I do as a profession and helping my clients and just being there for people when they need it.
So you have thrown your hat into the ring for town council. Let's talk a little bit about some of the things that are currently happening and how you feel. Such as, for example, one of the things that we hear most often about is the Parks and Recreation program. One thing that's cited often for economic development is our quality of life in Queen Creek, and parks are a big part of that. How do you feel about the parks program, the parks plan, and East Park is coming online, although it's now called the Frontier Family Park.
Yeah.
And so tell us about that.
Well, I am really happy that the council approved that. I think it's a step in the right direction. There's definitely a need in all things. We have to assess the need and do something that fills that need, but being fiscally responsible in the process. And I feel like they've struck that balance. And as we move forward, when Frontier Family Park is built, they finish Mansell Carter. If there continues to be a growing need and we have the means to provide for it, then I would look to approving a good project. Absolutely.
So the parks plan is an important part of the quality of life here in town. There is a contingency who are quite vocal that parks are not necessary, um, or that they're an extreme waste of money. How do you feel about that?
Well, again, depending on what the needs of the community are, we have to always do our due diligence and identify that. And I think it's been proven that there's a need. And of course, if over the years other entities had stepped up and fulfilled that need, then great. But looks like there's a need for the town to fill that role and of course do it in a responsible way. But I think that. If done properly, the growth will help pay for that, which is the way it should be, because those that are moving here expect a good lifestyle and be able to enjoy some parks with their family.
Another thing that we hear often about is transportation in the town. And some folks say that roads aren't built fast enough, or that all resources should be dedicated to roads. Tell us how you feel about that.
Well, I felt the pains as everyone that has been on the roads in Queen Creek, and so I agree that there's a tremendous need for that. What I also know is that the current council is doing everything they can to build roads as fast as humanly possible, and so I love to see the projects that are underway. As more projects come online and opportunities arise, I would continue to approve those projects that can get us through the town more efficiently, and so we aren't stuck on a road for long periods of time, and so we got to continue to work on that. But again, I think that the planning has been done and the work is being done, and it's just those growing pains of being part of a hyper-growth community.
So you mentioned planning a couple of times. Queen Creek has an award-winning general plan which outlines where things are going to go. One thing that we've appreciated over the years is that the town council has stood by that plan. In other words, not converting industrial to residential, and vice versa, and protecting those residents that are currently here while still encouraging businesses to locate. Have you made yourself familiar with the general plan, and how do you think you might vote on those issues as they come up?
Well, that's great, thank you. So when I went through Citizens Leadership Institute, we studied that. I also have been in many meetings, whether it's Chamber has had great luncheons with town updates, been to council meetings, learned about it, and I really feel like they've done a good job of striking that balance. Of course, it's not the Queen Creek I grew up with, as hard as that can be sometimes, but there's a lot of great people that have moved here that I think we're striking that balance of still making it feel like a small town or that country feel. Even with all the growth. And so I think, that if there are adjustments that need to be made, we'll look at those at the time. And it's like anything, you just have to assess the issue and see where we need to pivot if we need to at all, right? And stay the course if it's a good plan and continue to let it play out in a healthy way. We got to find that balance, and it's a challenge. You can't make everyone happy, but we definitely do our best to make it a great place to live. It does need to be business friendly. I think those in business like that. I think like a business owner, but those that live here love that I raise my family here and go to the schools here and participate in all that, because I can provide that perspective that will keep a good balance, in my opinion.
Economic development is an important part of the town. You mentioned small businesses and being business friendly. How do you see yourself as a business friendly candidate? Tell me about that mindset and about how you might vote on future issues.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So recently attended the Economic Development Summit that the town put on. Was excellent. A lot of great things coming our way. It's important to, not, burden, business owners with too many regulations and restrictions. We need to make sure that we understand, who owns property but also make sure that as projects come along that they're not, in any way hurting the neighbors around them, and that we can find like I said, a happy medium. So be business friendly because, as we know, population growth is a great contributor to economic health, but also being able to provide more jobs that are high wage, high tech, that can support those residents so they don't have to drive hour plus to and from work each day, and that definitely will help lifestyle for those that live here.
Another important piece of that economic puzzle is the Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport. And there's some tremendous things happening over there. How do you view the airport, and what are you thinking some of the major issues are around that?
Sure, yeah. As a private pilot who got his license there at that airport, I love the airport. I think that it's so great that we have as many flights out of Mesa Gateway, Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport. And I think it's going to be an important factor moving forward in the economic health of our area. It's definitely a regional blessing, as I would call it. Of course, with that blessing comes, some challenges, whether it's with noise or as it grows, the traffic that surrounds that. But in all reality, I think the people are ready to have more options and more industry and commercial surrounding that airport. It really will help with our area and not just providing jobs, but providing options for those who like to travel, whether it's for leisure, which we see a lot of right now with Allegiant, and then also with business. And so I think the key is, for us to continue to zone properly so that way we're not asking for a lot of noise complaints 5, 10, 20 years down the road. But that's all been built into the plan as far as I've noticed.
Very good. Are there any things that you would like the folks at home to know that we haven't covered?
No, just that I love Queen Creek. It really is a wonderful place to be, and we're excited for those who come here to experience that same great, hometown feel. And just want everybody to know that I will do my very best to serve and to work hard. Integrity is everything, and that's how I was brought up. And I will, obviously in my service, always have that the first and foremost, and want to. I think the same things that our community members want, right? Which is a great place to live, opportunities for economic growth, and somewhere that is safe. And I really, really believe in a safe community, and supporting public safety is key. And so I'll continue to support our wonderful new police department. We have a fantastic fire department. Just went to the ribbon cutting of station number 5. That was a wonderful celebration. So great things happening all around, and we want to continue to make sure that it's a safe place, and that we're doing our best to be good citizens and make good decisions that are tough sometimes, but the right ones for the community overall.
Well, Brian, thank you very much for joining us today, and we wish you the best of luck.
My pleasure. Thank you.